what's up? Thanks for joining me. I'm here to do a super short and sweet review of Blue Beetle. My name's TBH. Thank you so much for joining me. Right off the bat, I did not remember any characters' names for the most part, so it's a family. Those are the good guys. You got a love interest as well. Then you got main bad guy and corporate CEO villain lady, aka Susan Sarandon. She don't really need to work hard. She's earned an easy day's work. Cool, I get it. You didn't need her here, to be honest, but you got her, so bravo. Might as well. Everyone's getting superhero money. Might as well jump in, get you a little something. Long story short, I'm just going to tell you right now. My review, my ranking, rating, whatever you want to call it. This is a movie that I would not buy and add to my collection. I honestly don't think you really need to see it in theaters unless you want to support minority superhero films. Glad to tell you ahead of time, I don't know how this will really do, if I'm being honest with you. My theater wasn't packed. That doesn't really indicate anything overall. But for the most part, it's hit and miss. There's some really high points and some really low points. It's cheesy, has a great synth score, which I'm a sucker for. The performances aren't bad, except for Susan Sarandon. Main bad guy doesn't really have any layers to him until, I guess, later on. I don't know what to tell you, folks. At this point, I don't think it's very memorable. There's a lot of references to the scarab going up Jaime's ass. Take that for what you will. He doesn't actually go up his ass, but they still refer to it many times. Yeah, I wish I reviewed Talk to Me instead. I ended up loving that movie. That was a great time. Not the same market for Blue Beetle. I get it. But damn, this is it's kind of very forgettable. It's the end of the DCEU and also the start of the DCU. We don't really quite know for sure. Whatever. I wouldn't sweep it under the rug. There's a very similar moment to Black Panther. There's a point where, spoiler alert, Jaime's dad dies and then he visits him in the spirit world. It's very beautiful and also very cheesy. My dad died 6 years ago. I know what it's like to want to ask your parents, what are you going to do when they're gone? How am I going to continue? How am I going to figure things out when I can't ask them for help? I can relate to that. I totally get it. Not as touching as the Black Panther scene, but scenes like this hit home for me. So maybe I'm a sucker for this sort of thing. Black Panther did it better, but this was still emotional and touching. That part's well done in my opinion. And then very soon right after that, seconds later probably, they'll do some shit that just kind of fucks it up. Gets cheesy or way too corny or I don't know. You saw it in the trailer. If you didn't, Grandma gets a cannon. It's goofy. It's silly. She's a former revolutionary, La Resistance, something like that. I don't know. Grandma's a badass. Long story short. I'm going to tell you right now, you don't need to see this in theaters unless you want to support minority superhero films. I get there's not a lot of those, but it's just not that great of a movie, if I'm being honest. Not trying to be harsh on it because I had a good time in theaters. There's a lot of stereotypes that they use in a positive way. Some of them are ridiculous. Just watch anything George Lopez does most of the time. He's ridiculous. I love it personally, but I understand if that's not everyone's brand of humor. I'm here for it, but he does a lot of ridiculous shit. There's a really badass scene that involves, I shit you not, a mechanical scarab or beetle something. I don't know. It's dope. It's a pretty fucking brutal actually for this film. There's this someone gets impaled. It looked like someone's was missing like their bottom half somewhere in the distance. I noticed that, so it was kind of brutal. It was off. It was a little obscured, of course, but yeah, no, thought that was a really cool scene. There's also a typical superhero fight down a hallway scene with the song playing over it. That was well done. But if I'm being honest, the like main fight between the villain and the good guy, neither one really hit home for me personally. Fine. Only you can make up your own opinion. I'm just giving you mine. Still a good time, just not special. This movie also has a lot of one liners. I'm sure most of them are 80-yard in. However, a lot of them work for me. So, I'll give it credit when it's due. Felipe Esparza shows up for like 5-10 seconds. He's like a security guard watching a cartoon. Oh, that reminds me. I'm just going to say stay for the mid-credit scene because it set up, a sequel, of course, as they're supposed to do. However, you can skip the post-credit scene. Yeah, just wait for that online. It's not worth it. Jaime isn't really the only one who gets powers in this movie. And, of course, the bad guy as well. How his sister gets a power glove of some sort that does many different things, including a shield and a stupid fucking like Green Lantern hand. Ugh. Don't ask why I have a copy of Green Lantern extended cut. Don't ask. But however, every time the sister used her powers, kept thinking of that dumb fucking scene from this movie. If you've seen it, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. I didn't think it would blow up. That's about it. Stream it. See you later. TBH signing out. Deuces.